Ladies and gents, I'm Meta. This is pod 33 of the Overkill Podcast. I'm here with Kirby.
Yo, it's your boy Kirby DK10.
I don't know why I'm so angry this time, but we're here. We got news. I got my water. That's what we'll call it. And it's time to game. This episode, there hasn't been a lot going on in the gaming space. There's been a lot of drama. And on this pod, we never shy away from just talking about things that interest us and giving our opinion on that. So, I guess we can start this pod out on a more positive note. I guess we should talk about the Black Ops 6 beta that we played for a bit.
Yeah.
So, Kirby let me play a few games on his PC and they crashed for some reason, but I didn't play a full game.
It doesn't crash whenever I play, but whenever Meta plays, it always crashes, which I thought was funny.
You know, they don't want me to ruin the game for everyone else because I'm so good. But what what is happening is I got to play it for a full game and then like half games that crashed. And Kirby's been playing it for quite a bit, so I'm going to let him take it away initially, and I'll add in some thoughts as we go.
Yeah, so I've actually played quite a bit of it. I actually pre-ordered it, I think, on Sunday of last week. So I didn't get to play like the full beta, but I got to play like half of the beta weekend. And then it obviously is coming back for this weekend. But I'm more shocked at the fact that they have already, between the 2 weekends, they've made a patch and they've pushed it out already. And they've fixed, they've nerfed the Jackal PDW, which was like the overpowered weapon that was running over everyone in beta weekend 1. And if you weren't using it, you were trolling, basically. And so now they've kind of nerfed that. They buffed the MP5 because I'm assuming in their data that it was saying that the MP5 was worse, even though it actually has a better TTK. But yeah, they buffed that. But overall, I've been enjoying the game. I think one thing that is definitely gonna have a lot of people confused is the Omni movement, because it does feel weird to be able to run in all directions. It feels odd. I think
it's definitely a learning curve.
I think one thing that everyone should try, though, is they should try to have auto tac sprint on, and that will make you sprint in all directions automatically, which can kind of it can help you get used to that movement. It feels unnatural, but once you get used to it, I think it feels really nice. Anyway. You have any qualms with the movement?
Me personally, any qualms? Once I rebound the keyboard keys to be more like my COD layout, I actually didn't have any issues, and I actually kind of came to enjoy it. It allowed for a lot of like unique kills, and actually, so with my play style, I actually prefer the Omni movement a little bit more, because it, in a weird way, it kind of lets me play a little slower, and it lets the faster people play faster, and so they can kind of run into me, and I can exploit my patient advantage over their impatient disadvantage. So I like it a lot in that, it lets me position to somewhere real quick and kind of hold an area and then move to the next area. Shout out to Wings of Redemption. My boy knows how to play. And I actually really do like the movement quite a bit. Which is shocking, because I'm not a big like jetpack COD guy or anything like that. So
yeah, I think one thing that's kind of interesting is I actually like to play on controller on BO6, even though in Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 I actually preferred to play on keyboard. And I think it's mainly because of the Omni movement. And also it's kind of I think I remember I played MW3 on controller for a while, and then I switched over. So maybe that'll happen again, but that's... I think it just helps to have, like, the auto-run feature on.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, normally not a big fan of the auto-run feature, but I think this might be the first game where I actually turn it on.
Mm-hmm. Also, one thing I really like is within the gunsmith, all of the attachments have only upsides. I mean, there are a few attachments that have downsides, and more testing needs to be done, but some people are saying that the attachments actually do have downsides. They're just not stated. But to me, the attachments feel like, if there are downsides, it feels very negative, like, or very small downsides, right? It's not like in MW2 where people, the downsides are so bad, some people just ran with the base weapon without any attachments at all. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like the attachments actually do something. And I think that means that, actually unlocking things matters for something. But yeah, I don't know. It feels really nice. Weekend 2, you get 10 extra levels. You're going to have, in total, you're going to have about half of what the game offers. Yeah, we'll have to see. I definitely got to play more this weekend and kind of come to a better inclusion of, towards launch, I guess.
Well, it seems like we're leaning towards it's probably going to be a winner. I don't believe the zombies will be a winner because it hasn't been for a very long time. But I think the multiplayer might be a winner at the very least.
Well, I think zombies will be like similar to Cold War, and I actually liked Cold War zombies. It's a nice casual mode to go into, like, once you get frustrated with multiplayer, and I think
casual.
I think that's what. Well, I think that's what Cold War was, right?
Yeah.
And this game's gonna have guides and stuff like that to the zombies mode. I think it's gonna be a nice, like, break from the multiplayer.
Certainly, I think it'll be okay. I think anything's better than MW3 zombies.
Yeah.
I will admit, I think I'm up on this game as well. It just feels good, and I actually used the burst. It was basically like the G3, and I kind of fell in love with it, which is the first time I've ever loved using a burst gun. So that was really, really cool. And yeah, I don't know. I'm up on it.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I even got to use that burst weapon a little bit in the second beta so far. And between weekend 1, you actually had it to where if you pulled on the trigger and you held it as you were shooting, it would, like, queue up the next shot. But now it doesn't do that. So, like, if you want to keep shooting, you can just hold it. But, like, once you let go of it, it won't register the next shot. So they've already, like, gained that feedback because people didn't like it because they're obviously, like, shooting bullets that they don't want to.
Right.
Because it's just queuing it. So they've already implemented that. Again, they're really fast with it, which I'm very shocked. We'll have to see if that continues with the game as it goes on, because usually the games get less support as the as the year goes on. But
indeed. Yeah,
I'm pretty up on the game. I think it's going to be a good year. With the open beta this weekend, the second weekend, we're going to get 3 additional maps on top of the 5 that we had with last weekend. So we're going to get a total of, half the maps that are going to be in the game.
Right.
So.
Right. There's more coming.
Based.
And I'm here for it. Honestly. But yeah. I guess we move on to our next story here. We will all obviously be mentioning COD probably every week, especially up until release. Depends on how good or bad it goes, but
yeah,
I think that'll be a recurring topic. Here we go. Like we mentioned, I'm trying not to say as much, boys. as we mentioned, there is not too much gaming news this week, and most of it's pretty negative and a lot of drama. So, the biggest news is a game called Concord, which was a hero shooter, and even this news is a couple of weeks late, but it is being shut down. This game was developed by Sony. It's being shut down after 2 weeks after a development time of 8 whole years. Pretty tough, boys. Pretty tough. I think this game is kind of an example of, I'll just put it this way. The pronouns for the game are now was, were. Sony is actually doing a real pro gamer move and refunding everyone that bought it. It was obviously heavily influenced by kind of left-wing, more liberal propaganda, maybe not even left-wing, more liberal propaganda. Every character had pronouns, and they had different groups they supported and topics they supported, so a little cringo on that front. I think the best character was this giant yellow trash can that I watched Jack Frags play. But, the leading up, or after, post the game's release, what a cluster, post the game's release, one of the devs called all of the players and gamers talentless freaks because of how mad they were about being accused of including a bunch of DEI and all this, all the vitriol that was lobbed at developers. And, no one supports threatening developers or being an ass. I think this is a bad game for a company called Firerock Studios. This was their first game, and it was made under Sony. It did not do well. I have to say, watching some of the gameplay, did not play well either. I think they would have been better off with just holding it in the tank or just closing the game. It just did not look good. It looked like it controlled worse than TF2, and that game came out, 15 years ago.
Yeah, to me, I'm watching the gameplay. It looks like a mixture of Splitgate, Destiny, and Halo. It looks like the reticle looks like the battle rifle reticle. It looks like Splitgate though. It's so freaky.
Yeah, it's very freaky. And I think it's twofold. So there was a guy who made a video that I like a lot. He goes under He goes under Sungrand Studios. He's this Asian guy who dresses up in a suit in front of his green screen that he has. It looks real official. But he made this video, and he talks about how DI and pronouns aren't necessarily a bad thing and all this other stuff, but he's a game dev himself. And he just kind of levels with them, and he's kind of telling them, hey, you essentially need to have a come to Jesus meeting and accept that, gamers just didn't want your game. They didn't want your game. You tried to force stuff on them. They didn't want it. And, too bad, so sad. And I think he's right, because there's a game called Deadlock. Now, Deadlock I haven't watched too much of either, because it looks like it controls even like a mobile game. But Deadlock doesn't seem to have this issue, and they also have a diverse cast of characters. We have Girl Boss, we have, Heimlich, the German guy, we have a samurai guy. There's an alien that clearly is a Asian archetype, which I'm surprised they can get away with. They have robots. There's no pronouns, but there's diversity just without making it so obvious.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of it's kind of like Overwatch in a way, where like you have a lot of characters that are obviously like straight and manly men. Like you have like Torbjorn and Reinhardt, and you have like manly man characters. But then you also have some like, Mei and Tracer and all that, who are like, have DEI elements, right? So like I think you kind of, if you want to have like a little bit of your agenda propaganda in your game, you just kind of have to hide it a little bit, and it'll, it probably won't. But like if every character in your game is that way, like,
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the real issue comes with, we've seen this with other games. Devs start getting mad and they start lashing out, which I'm surprised they still have a job, and they start, yelling at gamers. They start calling them names. And I know it sucks. I know it's hard to work at a company and just get bullied by the public, or what you perceive as bullying by the public. I know it's hard, but you are a professional and you kind of have to keep your mouth shut, and these people just don't. And every time they open up their mouth, they always end up costing their studio, essentially the whole studio, money and jobs. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I think a lot of people at this company will lose their job because of this game's failure and because of the lady's outburst on Twitter. So, I don't know. It's hard to feel bad for them whenever they can't seem to get their own house in order. I think this is an interesting case study. And, 8 years of development, shutting down after 2 weeks. I think people, too, are tired of hero shooters. No one wants hero shooters anymore, man. Do you want another hero shooter?
This game is like 5 years late. Like, Paladins is cool. Overwatch is cool. I mean, not Overwatch.
What was that other one
Overwatch
with the mushroom?
Overwatch isn't cool anymore, but I think the only good hero shooter is like Paladins right now. But
Valorant. Well, Valorant's a hero shooter.
Yeah, Valorant, Siege.
Apex?
I mean, yeah, there's so many other games.
Oh, you consider Siege one?
That are hero
you know what? I
shooters.
guess Siege could be one.
I mean, it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You pick your operators. They all have different abilities. I mean, it's just basically one.
There was that game Battleborn, and even that game was too late, and that was released in 2016.
But like,
And
but Siege has its own.
Battleborn was late.
But yeah, I mean, Siege has like its own identity, right? It's like it's supposed to be a little bit like more mil-simmy. I mean, obviously they've kind of more recently been straying away from that and kind of going into like crazier concepts, but
Of course, yeah, it's a lot more sci-fi now, and even
yeah,
and yeah.
But like
we don't have to get too big into it, but I know their pivot to sci-fi has also allowed for more kind of DEI stuff.
Yeah,
but I think they've implemented it a little better than other studios have. That makes sense.
yeah, it's been like one or two characters, not like the whole cast. That's the problem. I think once it's like the whole cast and the whole game is basically revolved around that, like
no one can relate.
Yeah,
you've essentially most,
I guess, poisoned the well, right? Or is that maybe like a different?
Nah, yeah, it's a little different, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, you've kind of poisoned the. Yeah, sure, that works. Because most people are like, the average demographic is straight male, probably white, or like grew up in suburbia. So they kind of have like the, that culture. And then, the other demographics branching off from that are like males from other races, and then like females that are also straight. So like majority straight, probably majority male, probably majority white. So at some point, there's not a character that you can relate to. Like, if everyone has to pick a character on a 5-person squad, someone's going to be the odd man out on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine, and I don't have a strong opinion on it because I just won't play your game if I don't like it, if it makes me uncomfortable. But yeah. I think it's really dumb to like force it on people because it just doesn't seem to be profitable. So why would you keep doing it? But whatever. Like, if it was profitable, I might be like, what am I going to do? I mean, go for it. But honestly, it's not profitable, so now everyone just looks at you like you're stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the latest of the, like, hero shooters, you know, what do you call it, like, superhero kind of games. That's kind of like the vibe it gives me. It gives me, like, the same vibe as, oh gosh, what was it, like, Suicide Squad, kind of.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It kind of does, doesn't it?
in like a weird kind of way. I don't know.
It got that energy.
But yeah, I don't know. There's just too many. I think if this game was like only single player, and like it was maybe had like more roguelike elements, I think it could have like succeeded. But the problem is like you're competing against like Overwatch, Siege, even every other shooter out there. Like it's a big market.
It's rough.
And like sure you're trying something different, but like also you have to know your audience, and most gamers are white male straight.
Yep.
So you have to kind of
I don't even care what your politics are. That's just a fact.
yeah, I mean, you kind of have to pander a little bit, right? You can
we're
like
the audience. You and I, we're white male straight. So, I mean, most people that I meet that play games are at least male straight. So,
yeah.
I would say those are, if we have to like rank it, I would say it probably goes male as like the top demographic, then straight, then probably white. If we're gonna like do the top 3 power rankings of
And then like in our friend group we have one female and she only plays Stardew Valley, so
yeah. She is,
so she's not gonna play a game like that.
She's a Hispanic female.
Yeah,
a Hispanic femoid, boys.
Okay. Sorry, I just couldn't resist the cringe. Speaking of cringe, we'll move on to Destiny, huh? This is an older story.
Yeah, this is a little bit of an older story. So I'm sure you guys heard about the attempt on Trump's life.
In-game.
In-game, of course, in Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
And
Minecraft. Oh, jeez. Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to talk about this because Destiny he does like stream video games and stuff like that. Plays Factorio, of course. So I used to follow Destiny. I used to be an edgy Reddit atheist Destiny enjoyer. Well, more agnostic, but Destiny enjoyer.
Edgy Ratheist. Wow. Okay.
What?
I'm going home, Chad. I'm drunk. No. Go on.
I said edgy Reddit atheist.
Yeah, and I combined it. I said edgy Ratheists.
Oh. What the heck? Okay. But anyways, Destiny, he basically said that if any Trump supporters passed away, that he would feel no remorse, and he doesn't care. Like
well, not passed away. If anyone was unalived in game, he wouldn't care.
Yeah. The same thing. What do you mean? Okay. Anyways, he also said that if his parents, because his parents are both
passed away implies that they just died.
Yeah.
He's saying actively unalived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and his parents are both supporters of the Orange Man, so if they go to a rally and they get unalived, he wouldn't shed a tear. That's what he said.
I guess not. No. I guess he'd be happy.
And, I mean...
That's cool, edgy Reddit take. I like that.
Well, and the other problem is like if you do this, you're opening up the door to like violence towards towards your own side by the other side, right?
Yes,
that's my main. That's my kind of like main takeaway is like, I don't think political violence is the solution to anything. I don't think violence is the solution to like basically any problem. And Destiny seems to be fine with it on his side, but he's not fine with it the other way.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you want my take on this?
Yeah, you can take it away.
Okay.
If you want.
I think that was a good summary. So yeah, he obviously doesn't care if his parents get unalived in game. But what I'll say this, and everyone's known this. Destiny is an edgy guy. This isn't very surprising that he would say it. Normally he is a bit more calculated than this, but I'll put it this way: I'm not shocked given the way that this country's kind of going. Everyone's at each other's throats. Everyone wants to make sure that their side is always the winning side, and anyone on the other side is a deviant or a devil or a whatever that needs to be dealt with. So it's not very shocking that it would permeate into streamers. And I'll just say, I think it's abhorrent. I think it's just as bad as whenever Hassan said that we deserve 9/11. I think it's just as atrocious as saying that the people at the gay nightclub in Vegas that was shot up a few years ago deserve it. I think, anyone that advocates for violence on that level is sick, and they probably should talk to someone about that, preferably a therapist or someone they can trust that is honest with them. Kind of cringe to have such an extreme take.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like his extreme takes because they are kind of funny.
I mean, that's the thing though.
And then,
is like normally there's a little bit of a joke. This isn't even there wasn't even a joke to this. This was just like dead serious.
Like actual, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the funniest thing is I didn't know this until I started watching the Kino Casino Boys as well. Is I had no idea that Destiny got his wife his former wife Melina from. So he flew to Sweden to like stream with one of his viewers, and his viewer was the boyfriend of Melina, and he basically cucked a cuck, or he basically took this guy's girlfriend who was a viewer of his, and Melina goes back to like a week later. The cuck is like, don't worry, he'll come back to me or whatever. And she flies over to Destiny a week later, and they get married and all that, and they're like, oh yeah, we're in an open relationship. I mean, here's the thing. Normal monogamous relationships, about 70% of them fail, which I think is obviously bad. But if you look at polyamorous relationships, 90% of them fail. Ooh. And so you're already getting married, which is an incredibly risky maneuver. And on top of that, you're making it even worse by having it be polygamous. And anyways, so Destiny gets cucked. That's what I thought was funny, because the person who cucks this one guy later down the line gets cucked again. I just thought it was funny.
No,
I had no idea. I had no idea that he stole Melina from this other dude.
I did not either. You've educated me.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Damn. Well, speaking of degeneracy and degenerate takes. Dr. Disrespect, as you've known, as you've probably heard through the grapevine, the good people of the internet, there was a Twitch employee, a former Twitch employee that came out on Twitter a few weeks ago and said he was discussing certain inappropriate matters with a underage girl. Now, what has come out since is he made this really bad response where he admitted to talking to a girl. He said it was jokes in a sexual manner, etc., all this stuff. He kind of admitted to it, but didn't admit to it in a weird way on his Twitter post. It just wasn't a very, smooth move. So, what we know now is a couple of things. He's come out and he's made his own video where he is yelling and screaming and ranting about this person, claiming they lied, claiming they didn't know what they were talking about, which could all be true. The issue is he admits that the girl was technically legal in the state that she was in when he was talking to her. So that essentially confirms that she was allegedly, 16, 17, right? Because in some states in the U.S., 16 is the legal age of consent, and actually in most states 16 is the legal age of consent. I think it's about a 50-50 split, but the doc has essentially confirmed that fact of the story, but the rest he says is a lie, and he says he made that Twitter post to bait in all of the news organizations into running a false story. Now, I think that's a little bit of the 5D chess, lol-cal, epic, I have an IQ of 1,000,000, you idiots, and you fell for it type scenarios. But I think overall he's probably telling the truth. But we'll just have to see. Kind of cringe, I used to love Dr. Disrespect, and I don't watch his stuff anymore, but this kind of is a little sour for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I still like him. I haven't really researched too much on this topic. I probably would need to see a little bit more videos or what actually happened, because I know that the allegations were made, but I haven't really looked into it too much. So
yeah, there's not much that we will know until we get an actual lawsuit or court filing or something more substantial.
Gotcha.
Something with a little more info. But yeah, everything's alleged. Everything is speculation
based.
But yeah, another giant has fallen, my friends.
Oof.
For now, we'll see what the facts say.
Yeah. Speaking of another giant falling.
This is probably my favorite story of the week. Big shot.
Yeah, so we all know that Boogie2988, he faked cancer. About
gamer move.
About what, 2 years ago he came out that he had cancer, and then 2 months ago
I watched
people
the video.
figured out. People
I
figured
watched
out
the video when it came out.
Yeah, they figured out that he's actually doesn't. And it's actually funny because Destiny was the one who felted him and told him that he didn't actually have it. And so, as reparations, he's decided to pick up trash on the side of the road. And it's funny, in this video you can see his Toyota Corolla. He has his hazard lights on and he's picking up trash. And the funniest thing is he finds this water bottle and it has a yellow substance in it.
No.
And they're all saying it's pee, and people are telling him to drink it. I don't know. I mean, it could be, but he dumps all of it out and then he takes a small little sip of it. But he also sniffs it before he drinks it. So that leads me to believe that it's yellow Gatorade or something like that.
No, so So yes, it was in one of those ice bottles. I don't know if y'all know what that is, but it's like the flavored water. And they make an apple flavored water that kind of has that color, and they also make a coconut one that has like a real bright yellow. The apple kind of has like a muted, and the coconut's like bright yellow. And so I believe it's just some of the leftover ice water.
Mm-hmm. Also, one strange thing that I want to point out is like throughout this video, Keemstar is like insulting him and like obviously having like banter with him, and he starts to kind of have like outburst, and he starts to sound like Francis, and so I want to say most of this is like fake, but I can't tell.
Shit, I didn't see that coming. So you're saying like he's faking how much he hates it?
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, he says throughout the video like, "Oh, I'm tired. You know, it's super hot." And I believe he says like it's 91 in Arkansas, and someone checked, and it was actually like 88, which like okay, it's fair enough. I mean,
close enough.
That's
right?
close enough. Yeah, some people are like, "Oh, he's lying." It's like no, he was going by what his car was saying the degrees are, and like car thermostats and thermometers are known to be like not entirely accurate.
No, because they're kind of heated up by the surrounding metal and like chassis and stuff.
Yeah. So.
Not surprised.
But yeah, I don't know. I really can't tell if it's faked. I think at the end he says he's like legitimately tired, and I think he actually was.
I mean, he is a large guy. So it, I can fully believe that he probably was tired. We have a family member that's pretty large like him, and my guy will work hard for like 30 minutes to an hour, but man, he's done after that. He's got to get like two Big Macs. Got to sit down.
A number 9 Lord.
Number 9 Lord. Yeah, my guy is out after that, so I can see it.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's played up a little bit. I think, in a way, Boogie, because Keemstar is kind of just enjoying torturing him, and I think Boogie is just playing into it because I think he'll get off the hook faster, or he thinks he'll get off the hook faster.
Yeah, and some people were like trying to get him to like dox his location. They were like sending in super chats to Keemstar. And he was like, "How far are you guys out from your house?" And he was like, "Oh, like 15 or 10 minutes." It's like, bro. Like, why are you trying to dox where this guy is on the road?
Did you see the water balloon stream?
For Boogie?
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't seen that.
So there was a follow-up stream where he had Boogie go post up in kind of like the shopping center district, like every town in America has, especially the western ones, where there's nothing better to do. There's always like a little town shopping center square kind of area. He had him post up with a sign that said, "I fake cancer. You want to throw, hit me with a water balloon." And he essentially doxed Boogie where his location was. So a bunch of people showed up, some supporters, and the supporters had to throw a water balloon. Otherwise, Keemstar would add 10 more minutes. And he had random people throwing water balloons at him, at his crotch, at his face, at his body, etc. And Kaya, if you know him, friends with Moist Critical, also a part of the official podcast, which Charlie's no longer a part of. Kaya actually showed up to throw a water balloon at Boogie because he famously dislikes Boogie a lot. Once again, though, another stream of just... Honestly, it's kind of cringe to watch, but yeah. It just makes me a little cringed.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Boogie, but man, it's over like the past 5 years, it's been really rough.
Oh, have the mighty have fallen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he should, I don't think you should dox him or, anything like that. Like, I thought the fact that they were, trying to dox where he was on the road, on the roadways and stuff, I thought that was kind of messed up, but...
Oh,
yeah.
no, that's very cringe, yeah.
But, if you want to, mess with him, I don't see, a problem with that.
Nah. Yeah. Well, we're nearing the end. And just shout out to Rusty's retirement, which I've been playing all this podcast as well. I have my first farm that I started 2 weeks ago, complete, filled to the brim. We've got animals, we've got crops, we've got berry bushes, we've got bees, we've got butterflies, we've got all the robots updated to the max level. And right now we're just min-maxing to fill in all the squares and fill out all of the animal troughs. Honestly, my new squeeze of a game, I have a special place in my heart for idle games, and I have ever since probably 10 years ago with the iPhone and all of the idle games that came out for that, and then even the idle gotcha games that existed. So, this game has a very special place in my heart, and if you have not played it, you should. It's a fantastic game. I like to play it while I am studying, while I'm doing other stuff, and you should definitely check it out. It's fucking sick. That's all I gotta say. I just wanted to add that in at the end. That wasn't even really
Based.
planned, so.
Well, hope you guys
Anyways.
enjoyed the podcast. It's been your boy, Kirby DK10. Peace.
And your boy Meta.
E.
I suppose peace.